Hello everyone and welcome! In today's video I'm going to be unboxing the Holiday 2019 gift edition of the Dyson Supersonic blow dryer. Now the Dyson Supersonic, for those that don't know, is an insanely overpriced hairdryer that, quite frankly, in my opinion, does exactly the same thing as what a $10 blow dryer does, but it does so in some serious style. Now, I spoke to a bunch of professional hairstylists and they say that while the Dyson Supersonic is a really nice blow dryer that is extremely well balanced, that it does actually dries hair faster and better than a typical hairdryer. So I have really short hair, so I wouldn't know, nor would I care. This is actually a gift for my spouse, and I thought that, you know what, for once in a lifetime I'm going to do something absolutely stupid and buy one of these things. Now, the saving grace to the holiday gift edition is that when you pay the $499, which would normally give you just the blow dryers and the 3 blow dryer attachments, that you actually get a bonus pack-in. Now, in previous holiday gift sets, you would either get a travel case, a nice fancy leather storage case, special color themes, or in this particular version, a metal storage stand, which looks really cool. The box itself here weighs quite a bit. So I can tell that the stand, is very substantial, if you will. It is all metal. The packaging is very well made. It feels like an Apple product, and it certainly weighs a lot. Now, let's just go ahead and break this seal in and crack this tab open. Tightly. It's impossible to get out. Now here's what the actual Supersonic hairdryer box would typically look like. It's about this thick. But of course inside this gift pack is the additional box, which I'm assuming is the storage stand. So inside the box there's lots of retaining foam. It's actually a very good quality foam to prevent these items from shifting around and getting scratched up and damaged. So here we've got our Hello Introduction User Guide, which I don't think I really need to know how to use a hairdryer. We've got our gigantic diffuser for people, I'm assuming, with curly hair. We have our flat nozzle, and then we've got our standard nozzle. Here's the actual hairdryer itself. And as I said earlier, similar to how Apple products are made and packaged, that it's really cool that they pay a lot of attention to detail on how these things are really packaged and put together. Let's see what's going on here. There's a whole bunch of crazy packaging that's tangling everything. So in the top here, we've got the power cord. It looks like a power brick, which I didn't even know existed. This really thick power cord. Actually, the girth of this cord is quite substantial, more than a normal hairdryer. We've got our little dryer hanging cord loop right here. And then it looks like inside the power cord case, we've also got what looks like the... Oh, come on. Oh, okay, I see. We've got our little anti-slip mat, which wasn't actually listed in the advertisement. So what this mat actually does is that if you are the type of person that puts your hairdryer on a countertop, that it prevents your hairdryer from slipping off and falling on the counter and smashing your $500 investment on the ground. So the attention to detail and fit and finish is so impressive that these box halves fit together, creating almost a vacuum seal. Okay, so this is what the inside of that box looks like. We've got this base, and we've got this metal stand. We've got a set of instructions here. So, it's a display stand is what they call it. That you slide the bottom of the metal leg in until it clicks into place. So assuming that it goes in like this. Oh, there we go, it clicked. And then you can take your little accessories and lock those magnetically onto the stand, like so, and store your hairdryer like this. Whoop, doesn't seem to be very strong. Now, that's a really nice, neat, tidy package that would look great sitting on your bathroom counter, but I can already see that there are some fundamental problems with its design because most people would likely leave their hairdryer plugged in, and there's nothing on the stand here to prevent your hairdryer from moving around on the stand, which would then knock it off like so. It does look really nice, and it does store everything very neatly. Now, that being said, let's actually look at the hairdryer itself. Now, the Dyson Supersonic actually has some really neat advantages, and I'm not gonna lie, I actually am a sucker for some pretty funky looking technology, and of course the Supersonic is one of them. The key thing here that makes this hairdryer substantially different than other ones is that it's extremely well balanced because the motor and the filter is actually encased in the base of the handle and not on the top of the head like a traditional hairdryer. Now, the other thing here is that it also has a microprocessor built into it that supposedly does 40 measurements per second to adjust the heat output to make sure that it's consistent and that it doesn't ever deviate too far from what the set point is. Now, on this hairdryer here, you actually have 4 heat set points, right? There's, levels 1 through 3 as well as off. And then on the back side, we have a fan speed control that offers you low, medium, high speeds, your power switch, as well as the cool blast button that temporarily shuts off the heater. Now, the other neat thing about this hairdryer that my wife actually complains about her old hairdryer is that because she has long hair, that a lot of people will occasionally get their hair caught into the back of the hairdryer's motor just because of where it's located. On the Supersonic, that won't happen because the filter and the motor assembly is in its base, and it's actually protected by this coarse filter cage and then a really fine filter mesh here where the hair is never going to be able to get into it. Cleaning the filter on the Dyson Supersonic is extremely easy. You basically pop the cage off and then you take a toothbrush or a vacuum cleaner or even a dry cloth and you just kind of dust off this filter and then reattach the cage and then you're good to go. As far as fit and finish is concerned, the Supersonic seems very well balanced, although I'll admit that it does actually weigh more than I thought it would. The other thing I took notice of is the extremely thick power cord. It's the same thickness of power cord that you would find on a vacuum cleaner for your home, and there's also this crazy power brick adapter thing that's on the end of it, which I don't know what it's for, but it adds quite a bit of overall weight. Now, the other neat thing about the Dyson is that unlike a traditional hairdryer that uses twist lock or snap-on diffusers, that Dyson uses a magnetic ring that allows you to use just basically snap on the various nozzles, and it's got lots of holding power on it because, well, it's a strong magnet, so that's really good. So when you're using the blow dryer, that you don't have to worry about these nozzles falling off. This big diffuser that's got a lot of plastic on it, again, really hard shaking here is not going to dislodge it from the hairdryer itself. Now, as far as noise comparison is concerned, so let's plug this in and just do a quick side-by-side comparison to my trusty $30 Costco Conair Testarossa hairdryer. I bought this from Costco for $30 about 6 or 7 years ago, and it served its purpose very good. In fact, it looks brand new still, and it works just as good as the day I bought it. Now, this is the big thing I hate about this one, and this is that filter I talked about. On the back side here, you can see that there is sort of a pre-filter screen, and then there's the motor. Well, there's a whole bunch of crap in there, and I just vacuumed this thing out maybe 3 weeks ago, and just toilet paper dust and whatever it is in the home, it gets all caught in there, which then restricts airflow and then causes this hairdryer to run extremely hot. I've actually burned myself using this a few times, and I'm hoping that the Dyson Supersonic doesn't do that. As far as noise is concerned, it's what a hairdryer should sound like. When you're blow drying your hair, the motor's right at your ear, so, if hearing loss is a concern for you, or hearing damage, then, a traditional hairdryer is not going to be as ideal. as far as the Dyson's concerned. So quite a bit quieter. It definitely feels more balanced in the hand. I mentioned earlier that there are 4 heat settings: low, medium, high, and off. So they light up with the LEDs on the back based on the number of button presses, and then the fan speed, low, medium, high. So it is actually quite a bit quieter by my head. It's also got this cold shot blast, so when you're blow drying on really hot air, that you just push this button to turn the heaters off temporarily. There's no buffeting from the dryer. Just kidding. So I hope you guys found this video useful and informative. If you like this video, give me a thumbs up and consider subscribing to my channel. And thanks for watching.